Hello, Gary.
Hello, James.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yes, you came to see me a few years ago about stopping smoking, didn't you?
Yep.
How long ago was it now?
8 years ago.
8 years.
8 years ago.
Wow. And you were smoking. How many were you smoking back then?
I was averaging about 40 to 60 a day.
Okay. And you came to me for some hypnotherapy.
Yep.
To stop. Had you tried anything else to stop before?
I had tried just giving up cold turkey. I tried some patches and the gum, but they weren't working for me. I found myself going back to the cigarette.
Okay. So we did one session, didn't we? We did one session of hypnosis.
One session of hypnosis, yeah. I think it took between 40 minutes and an hour.
Okay. And what was your experience? What was your experience of that? The hypnosis itself. What was that like for you?
Honestly, it felt like I'd had the best 40-minute sleep I'd ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it, but I felt really relaxed when I woke up.
Okay. And then afterwards, what happened afterwards?
I remember the hypnotherapy exactly how it went. I had 2 cigarettes in my box, and you asked me what I wanted to do with them. I said I wanted to smoke them, so you let me smoke one. You kept hold of the other one. Was this after the session or before the session? Before the session.
Before the session.
And then we had the hypnotherapy. It took about 40 minutes or an hour or so later. And then you gave me back the cigarette, and I scrunched it up and threw it in the bin.
Okay. Okay. So after the hypnosis, what was it like for you? What happened?
I didn't have any direct cravings for cigarettes, but I won't lie that it didn't still smell appealing when someone had a cigarette, or it looked appealing. But after a certain amount of time, actually, I started noticing the difference within a couple of days.
Yeah.
And there wasn't an urge to go and get a cigarette.
Right.
It felt a little bit weird. I wasn't smoking for a while, because normally I had to step outside with people or the same group of friends. But yeah, I didn't feel that I needed or wanted it anymore.
Okay, so that was the main difference. You didn't feel like you needed it or wanted it anymore. And it wasn't like this is one of the things that a lot of people are under the misconception that they'll come out of hypnosis and it'll just be like something is completely different, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So it was like that, a little bit like that for you.
It was a little bit of time, but it was quick. I mean, I didn't want a fag. I was worried, because I felt like I shouldn't want a fag, I shouldn't need a fag, and I was worried about having an urge for it when I came out of the hypnosis.
Yeah.
But even now, like, I see people, I see people smoking and people around me with cigarettes. Sometimes it does smell like appealing. Like sometimes but I always remember the struggle I went to not want to smoke anymore, and there's I can't explain it. There's always something inside of me saying you don't need that anymore, and I completely agree with it.
Right. Okay. So what, in your mind, what role do you think the hypnosis played in that whole thing, in the actual that whole process?
Without hypnosis, I would be smoking now.
Right.
Because trying to quit on my own, trying to quit with patches or with chewing gum, cold turkey, I just didn't have the willpower. I don't know, there was something that just kept taking me back. But it assisted me. It was almost as if the hypnosis just said stop and freed me from it. Okay.
Because it's quite difficult to, for someone to understand, if someone's listening to this, how does it work? How does the hypnosis work? So it's obviously quite difficult for people to understand how that is. But obviously, from what you've said, there was effort. You did have to make some effort, didn't you?
I did have to make some effort. I've had a few people before the hypnosis tell me, don't do hypnotherapy, it don't work. They had tried it and they'd gone back to smoking, and then admitted to me that in reality they didn't really want to give it up. They was okay with smoking. Okay. Whereas I was at the point where I really, really wanted to quit. Right. I felt that I'd had enough, and I felt that it had a hold on me. And after the hypnotherapy, it was almost as if I was released, and it just felt like a weight off my shoulders.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a key thing. That it's vitally important that the person is actually ready to stop.
Yeah. I've met a few people that said hypnotherapy don't work, but they did say that they were quite happy to continue smoking. They didn't feel that they were ready to stop. But like when you said to me, James, did I really want to quit? And I think that I was at that stage where I really, really wanted to give up smoking cigarettes. I didn't want to smoke anymore.
Right. So it was that decision. You made that decision, really.
Yeah, I was at that stage for a while, which is why I tried the patches. I think the hypnotherapy was the last thing I was gonna try, because I literally tried the free boxes that you get from the doctors, chewing gums, patches, trying to give up cold turkey. This was the last thing before giving up.
Right. Okay.
Giving up.
And for someone listening to this that's contemplating, a smoker listening to this, for example, that's contemplating going to a hypnotherapist to stop smoking, what would you say to them?
I would say I wouldn't hesitate at all, and try it. If you're at the point where you really don't want to be smoking no more, hypnotherapy will tip you over that edge to help you quit.
Right. Okay.
See, a lot of non-smokers won't know that there's these like trigger points where you smoke not because you want a cigarette, but because it's routine or a habit.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know, there'll be something like you'll get into your car and you'll automatically light a cigarette, or you will come out of your house, exit your garden gate, and that'll be the point where you always have lit up a cigarette. Them points will still feel a little bit weird to you, but yeah, I don't think I would have quit if it wasn't for hypnotherapy.
Well, this is it. It's like association. Those things on association, and there's sort of daily routines that are then associated with that habit.
Yep.
And during the hypnosis, we worked on breaking those associations, didn't we? And you mentioned it did feel a bit strange first of all, because presumably you've been smoking for a long time, so it's like any change in a routine it's quite usual for it to feel unusual to start with.
Yep, I'd been smoking for, I think it was like 16 years before that.
Right.
Which is quite a short time for someone that wants to give up. But I was only 24, 25 at the time when I wanted to quit, because it was affecting my work. I was more out of breath. I certainly don't miss waking up coughing my lungs up in the morning. I think it's helped me massively, loads.
And did people around you notice anything as well? I mean, what were comments that you had from other people?
I think the first thing you notice when you quit smoking is you don't realise about how much your clothes and everything around you actually smell of tobacco. Your bedroom, your front room, your clothes, your car. You start realising straight away about how much the habit itself actually did smell.
Right. And did you notice that more after stopping?
After stopping, I did notice that more. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm not one of those people that are tell people now don't smoke around me. But I would never ever because of the hypnotherapy that's installed in me, I would never go back to it.
Okay. So, I mean, that's an interesting question, actually. So, if if you're in a place where people are smoking, what's that like?
It doesn't even. To be honest, it doesn't even enter my mind. Nothing. I'm not sitting there thinking, "Oh, I must remember a pattern that James taught me," or I must remember this. I can carry on, socialise, drink my fruit juice at social gatherings and stuff, and it's not even one of those. It's almost as if I'd never smoked, and that doesn't even enter my mind that I have to be worried about not going back to smoking, or there's people smoking there, I have to be careful. Not at all. It doesn't even, it's nothing that I think about or nothing that I look at. I just carry on, having a laugh with my friends or my family, and it's just not a problem.
Okay, great. And it's been, was it 8 years you said?
8 years now.
Okay, well,
it's actually coming up to its 9th year next month.
Well done.
Thank you, James. Thank you to you.
Thank you. Well, unless you've got anything else to add, thank you very much for doing this short interview.
No worries. Excellent.
Thank you.